Welcome to the Iceberg of WWE Conspiracy Theories. In today's video, we will deal with betrayals, fights behind the scenes, and even revisit the worst crimes in sport. But first, I would just like to ask you to subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell, because this will help our work a lot. And before we get to the content, keep in mind that these are just theories, which may very well not be true. Now let's get to the video. Lesnar's streak ending. Planned or spontaneous? After Brock Lesnar's shocking victory over The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, a theory emerged suggesting that the ending of The Undertaker's 21-0 WrestleMania streak might have been an unplanned decision. This theory is supported by several factors. Firstly, Lesnar's reaction after the match was notably emotional and elated. His visible excitement was interpreted by some fans as a sign that the result was a personal surprise, not a pre-agreed outcome. This reaction contributed to the belief that the ending was not part of the original script. Additionally, the WWE locker room's unusual silence following the match further fueled speculation. The quiet atmosphere suggested that the surprise might have been intended to shock even those within the company, indicating that the ending was not widely known beforehand. Rumors also surfaced about backstage discontent with the decision to end the streak. Reports hinted that some WWE officials, including Vince McMahon, were initially unhappy with the outcome, which added to the theory that the ending might have been a last-minute change, rather than a well-communicated plan. The Undertaker's health leading up to the match was another contributing factor. Given his physical condition and the ongoing concerns about his injuries, some theorized that the decision to end the streak could have been made spontaneously to provide a memorable and impactful conclusion to his career. Cody Rhodes' smart move. The idea that Cody Rhodes had a master plan all along, from leaving WWE, helping to create AEW, and then returning to WWE, sounds like something out of a wrestling drama, but it's actually quite intriguing. According to this theory, Cody's moves weren't just random career decisions. They were part of a strategic plan to boost his value and position himself as a top player in WWE. When Cody left WWE in 2016, it seemed like a bold step. But instead of fading away, he went on to become a key figure in AEW, which he co-founded. This wasn't just about exploring new opportunities. It was about redefining himself and building his brand. His success in AEW helped him gain respect and recognition in the wrestling world, making him a bigger deal than before. So when Cody made his return to WWE, it wasn't just about coming back home. His time away had transformed him into a major asset. He came back with a higher profile, which gave him more leverage and a stronger position within WWE. His return was a big deal, and it showed that his plan to boost his market value had worked. Cody's storylines and matches in WWE after his return were carefully crafted to capitalize on all the attention he had built up during his time in AEW. It was clear that his comeback was meant to make a huge impact and solidify his place as a top star. Chris Benoit, the theory of innocence. The tragic case of Chris Benoit has long been a subject of intense speculation and conspiracy theories. One particularly controversial theory suggests that Benoit was framed for the of his wife and child. According to this theory, some believe that Kevin Sullivan, Benoit's wife's ex-husband, might have been the real perpetrator. The theory rests on several arguments. Personal grudge. Kevin Sullivan and Nancy Benoit, Chris's wife, had a tumultuous history. They were married before Nancy's relationship with Benoit, and their past was marked by personal conflicts. The theory argues that Sullivan's resentment and anger could have led him to commit these heinous acts as a form of revenge against Benoit. Wrestling feuds. In the world of professional wrestling, personal rivalries often spill over into real life. The theory suggests that Sullivan, known for his role as a wrestling villain, might have harbored deep-seated grudges from their time together in WCW. This personal animosity, some argue, could have motivated Sullivan to take drastic measures. Circumstantial evidence. Proponents of the theory point out that there were inconsistencies and oddities in the investigation. They argue that certain details, like the timing and manner of the murders, seemed suspicious and did not align with Benoit's known behavior or mental state. This has led some to believe that the evidence was manipulated to frame Benoit. Mental health issues. Another aspect of the theory involves the mental health issues that Benoit was reportedly facing at the time. Some theorists argue that these problems could have been exploited by Sullivan, who might have used Benoit's vulnerabilities to his advantage. While this theory provides an alternative perspective on the Benoit tragedy, it is important to remember that it remains speculative and not supported by concrete evidence. The Randy Savage and Stephanie McMahon controversy. Savage left the WWF in 1994. The most controversial theory is that Savage's exit was linked to an alleged relationship with Stephanie McMahon, who was only 17 at the time. Timing plays a significant role in this theory. Savage's departure coincided with Stephanie McMahon's teenage years, suggesting a potential personal issue between them. The overlap between Stephanie's age and Savage's departure raises questions about the nature of their relationship. Moreover, the rumors surrounding a relationship between Savage and Stephanie were never conclusively debunked. While no official confirmation exists, the persistence of these rumors over the years indicates that something more profound may have occurred. The personal relationship with Vince McMahon also cannot be overlooked. After the alleged affair, Savage's relationship with Vince McMahon soured, leading to Savage's quick removal from WWE. Vince McMahon is known for his strong personal and professional connections, and a serious conflict could easily lead to the end of a working relationship. Savage's exclusion from major WWE events and the Hall of Fame further supports this theory. Despite being one of the company's greatest stars, his absence from these honors could be seen as a direct consequence of the personal fallout with McMahon. The way Savage's exit was handled suggests that personal matters played a more significant role than publicly acknowledged. Time travelers. The playful theory of time travelers in wrestling has intrigued fans for years. It's based on amusing observations of people who seem to predict wrestling events or resemble future stars long before they achieve fame. One notable example involves a fan spotted at a WWF show who bore an uncanny resemblance to Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, before he became a wrestling superstar. The striking similarity between the fan and Bryan has led some to jokingly suggest that the fan might be a time traveler from the future, witnessing Bryan's rise to fame before it actually happened. Another element of this theory involves fans holding signs that appear to predict future events. For instance, at various wrestling events, fans have been seen holding signs that seem to foreshadow major storylines or outcomes long before they unfold on TV. This has led to speculation that these fans might have some insider knowledge, or more whimsically, that they are traveling from the future. Vince McMahon covering up a The theory surrounding Vince McMahon covering up a suggests that he used his power and resources to protect Jimmy Snuka, one of WWF's biggest stars, from being charged in the 1983 death of Nancy Argentino. Argentino, Snuka's girlfriend, died under suspicious circumstances, with Snuka as the primary suspect. Despite evidence pointing toward foul play, including a coroner's report labeling her death as a no charges were filed at the time. Critics of the situation argue that McMahon, recognizing Snuka's value to WWF, intervened to prevent the scandal from derailing his company. Allegedly, McMahon met with authorities following the incident, after which the investigation lost momentum, raising suspicion that legal proceedings were quietly swept aside. This theory has lingered for decades, casting a shadow over the case and suggesting that McMahon played a direct role in ensuring Snuka avoided justice. Vince McMahon sent the NWO to kill WCW. Vince McMahon supposedly sending Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to WCW to sabotage it. That theory comes from the timing of their jump to WCW just when WWF was struggling, and then boom, Nash and Hall helped create the NWO, which took WCW to new heights. But here's the kicker. The NWO eventually became too much of a good thing, leading to WCW's downfall. People think Vince sent them in, knowing they'd blow it all up from the inside. Plus, after WCW went under, Nash and Hall were welcomed back into WWE without skipping a beat, almost like they were never really on the other side to begin with. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder if Vince had a bigger plan all along. Daniel Bryan's fake retirement. Daniel Bryan's retirement in 2016 was supposedly due to severe concussions, but some people think there was more to it. They believe WWE pushed him into retirement to avoid him stealing the spotlight from Roman Reigns, who was struggling with the fans at the time. The theory goes that Bryan's injury wasn't as career-ending as it seemed. WWE might have kept him sidelined until his contract was almost up, only clearing him to wrestle again just to prevent him from joining another big promotion like New Japan or AEW. Vince McMahon sending Vince Russo to kill WCW. Vince Russo's stint at WCW seems almost like a bad joke. He left WWF in 1999 and took the reins at WCW, where things quickly went south. Ratings dropped, attendance tanked, and Russo even made himself the WCW World Champion. It's tempting to think McMahon sent him there on purpose, like a Trojan horse, to sabotage WCW from the inside. Russo's creative decisions seemed tailor-made to undermine the company, which makes you wonder if it was all part of a bigger scheme to take down the competition. Randy Savage gave Hulk Hogan a black eye. There's a juicy story floating around that before WrestleMania 9, Randy Savage gave Hulk Hogan a black eye. The rumor has it that Savage found out about an alleged affair between Hogan and his ex-wife, Miss Elizabeth. Supposedly, this confrontation happened because of that personal betrayal, and it's said that Savage's anger boiled over, resulting in a physical altercation. This theory adds a layer of drama to their already tense relationship and explains the bad blood that seemed to linger between them. The Mass Transit Incident. The Mass Transit Incident unfolded during an ECW house show on November 23, 1996. Axl Rotten and Devon Dudley were set to face Mustafa Said and New Jack, but Rotten was unavailable due to a family emergency. Enter Eric Koulas, known as Mass Transit, who deceived ECW officials into believing he was a trained wrestler and 21 years old when he was actually 17. Koulas, lacking the skills to safely blade himself, asked New Jack to do it. New Jack went overboard, causing Koulas to bleed heavily and cut 2 arteries. The match was halted after Koulas's father demanded it, leading to a rushed hospital visit. New Jack was sued, but the case went in his favor. New Jack later expressed no remorse for the incident, highlighting its brutal nature. Jim Cucknet. The term Jim Cucknet appears to be a nickname used by those who dislike Jim Cornette, though the exact origin and usage are unclear. It seems to be a derogatory term without much context or specific meaning, and there's not much concrete information about why this name is used. The Montreal Screwjob was a work. The Montreal Screwjob, a notorious incident from the 1997 Survivor Series, is rumored by some to have been a planned event. Bret Hart, the reigning WWF champion, was set to lose his title in his hometown but wanted to drop it the next night instead. The theory suggests that Hart was aware of the plan and that the Screwjob was orchestrated to serve everyone's interests. Shawn Michaels would become a major heel, Vince McMahon would enhance his villainous persona, and Bret Hart would secure a lucrative WCW deal. However, this theory is debunked by the fact that the Screwjob was a genuine breach of trust that exposed the backstage workings of WWE. Who bombed Vince McMahon's limo? On June 11, 2007, WWE staged an angle where Vince McMahon's limo exploded as he entered it. Initially intended to lead to McMahon's on-screen death, the storyline evolved into a plot where McMahon faked his death to test who truly cared about him. The plan included Mr. Kennedy being involved. However, the storyline was scrapped following the tragic deaths of Chris Benoit and his family, as it was considered inappropriately timed. Katie Vick. The Katie Vick storyline is widely regarded as one of WWE's worst. Triple H accused Kane of being a murderer, claiming he killed a woman named Katie Vick in a drunk driving accident. The storyline took a dark turn when Triple H aired a disturbing segment where he pretended to engage in neck the mannequin, complete with grotesque props. This storyline is often cited as a low point for WWE, reflecting poorly on their creative direction at the time. New Jack. Jerome Young, known as New Jack, was famous for his extreme wrestling style and no-nonsense attitude. Known for his violent and intense matches in ECW, New Jack's reputation as one of wrestling's most unapologetically tough figures is well-earned. He passed away from a heart attack in May at the age of 58, and his legacy as a groundbreaking and controversial wrestler remains significant. Haku's stories. Haku, a Tongan professional wrestler, is legendary for his toughness and intimidating presence. Known for stories of his resilience and strength, like breaking handcuffs and enduring mace attacks without flinching, Haku is often described as one of the most formidable wrestlers. The tales of his bar fights and unyielding demeanor add to his reputation as a truly badass figure in wrestling. Hulk Hogan's racist tapes. In July 2015, Hulk Hogan was released from WWE following the leak of a 2012 sex tape, where he used racist language and made derogatory remarks about his daughter's boyfriend. Hogan's apology and subsequent return to WWE in 2018 did little to erase the damage to his reputation. The incident has left a lasting mark, leading to a loss of respect from many in the wrestling community. JBL bullying. John Bradshaw Layfield, known as JBL, has faced accusations of bullying from various individuals, including Mauro Ranallo, The Miz, and Justin Roberts. This behavior garnered significant attention, with fans calling for JBL's dismissal. In response, JBL's role in WWE diminished, and he stepped down from commentary in 2017, amid growing scrutiny of his conduct. Speaking out. The Speaking Out movement began in June 2020, exposing instances of emotional, physical, and abuse within wrestling promotions like WWE, AEW, ROH, Impact, New Japan, NWA, and Chikara. It was sparked by allegations against David Starr, leading to his firing and title stripping. The movement revealed stories from over 70 wrestlers and staff, prompting promotions to take abuse allegations more seriously, and resulting in the termination of several accused individuals. Owen Hart death footage. During the Over the Edge 1999 pay-per-view, Owen Hart tragically fell 78 feet to his death when his harness malfunctioned. The incident, captured by the main camera, was not shown to viewers as WWE aired a vignette instead. The footage is stored in WWE's video archives, with strict instructions for it to never be viewed, destroyed, or copied. Only amateur photos and audio from the Spanish announce team, which captured their horrified reaction, are available. Lita's early training. I'm not entirely sure about this, but from what I found, there are two videos, 9 and 13 seconds long, showing Lita training before she joined WWF. The origins of these videos are unclear, but one comment mentioned that they wouldn't be shown without payment. The Plane Ride from Hell photos. Just a disclaimer. Dark Side of the Ring released an episode about the plane ride from hell before this was written. Some information may not be covered here. The plane ride from hell is infamous for how wrestlers were heavily intoxicated, causing chaos on the plane. This included Mr. Perfect and Brock Lesnar having a grappling match and nearly opening the emergency exit mid-flight, as well as Ric Flair harassing flight attendants. The incident was so severe that some individuals involved were released afterward. Former wrestler Justin Credible reported paparazzi at JFK Airport taking photos after the flight, including one of Scott Hall being wheeled out in a wheelchair. However, no photos from the event have surfaced. There were two Kanes. Aside from the imposter Kane gimmick, many assume multiple people portrayed Kane following his unmasking in 2003 due to the character's leaner physique. In reality, it was just one person, the Shockmaster. The Shockmaster was a character in early 90s WCW, notorious for one of the worst botched debuts ever. He was introduced during Ric Flair's A-Flair for the Gold segment to hype a War Games match. As Sting called out the Shockmaster, he emerged from a wall, tripped on a piece of wood, and his helmet fell off, causing the live crowd to laugh. This moment is considered a classic example of botched wrestling debuts. WCW audio-only PPVs. From 1997 to 1998, WCW held 6 audio-only events available on their website, with the first 2 events being free and the remaining 4 requiring PPV purchase. These events were WCW Saturday Nitro, Battle in Seattle, Boston Brawl, Malice in the Palace, Profiles in Pain, and LA Melee. The audio recordings are currently lost, and it's unknown whether WWE has them. Only video recordings from fans in attendance exist. Chris Benoit Tribute Show. The Chris Benoit Tribute Show was a 3-hour special aired on June 25th, 2007, the day after Benoit's family was found dead. The show had no fans in attendance and featured notable matches and comments from fellow wrestlers. It was never aired again, following revelations that Chris Benoit his family and then himself. WWE erased the tribute from their network, replacing it with a special edition of Raw featuring championship matches from that year. The episode is particularly disturbing because, according to Dark Side of the Ring, police already knew it was a homicide while the tribute was airing. Jim Ross remarked, "We tried to honor his family. We tried to honor his fans, but we didn't have the full story. Shame on us for that, I guess." Reflecting on the tribute, it is haunting that WWE honored a The Curtain Call. The Curtain Call occurred on May 19th, 1996 at Madison Square Garden during a house show. Shawn Michaels faced Diesel in a steel cage match. After the match, Scott Hall and Triple H entered the ring and celebrated together, breaking kayfabe in front of the crowd, particularly at Madison Square Garden. This caused significant backstage outrage, leading to disciplinary action from Vince McMahon to maintain credibility. The heat fell on Triple H as Nash and Hall were leaving for WCW, and Shawn Michaels was the WWF champion at the time. This demotion of Triple H led to Stone Cold Steve Austin being given the opportunity to win the King of the Ring and deliver his iconic Austin 3:16 promo, becoming a major star of the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Briefcase Mystery. At King of the Ring, 1997, Stone Cold Steve Austin competed against the McMahons in a handicap ladder match. As Austin climbed the ladder, an unknown entity raised the briefcase. Many assumed it was the Big Boss Man, who was fired from the corporation a week prior, but rehired the next night. The mystery remains as it wasn't explicitly stated who was responsible for raising the briefcase. Daniel Puter. Daniel Puter, a retired professional wrestler and winner of Tough Enough Season 4, is included in the Iceberg due to an incident on SmackDown. During an amateur wrestling match with Kurt Angle, Puter put Angle in a Chimera lock. To avoid embarrassment, Angle pinned Puter awkwardly, resulting in Puter's victory. This upset Angle, and Puter was released less than a year later. Vince McMahon, Michaels' love affair. An urban legend suggests that Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon were secretly gay lovers. This is not true and lacks credible sources. Chris Benoit's seizure. This refers to a moment during the first Money in the Bank ladder match, when Chris Benoit performed a flying headbutt on Kane from a 16-foot ladder. This move opened Benoit's stitches, causing him to shake uncontrollably. The incident is unsettling, especially considering what happened 2 years later. Vince McMahon massage parlor allegations. In January 2006, an employee from the Tanza Bar Tanning Salon in Boca Raton, Florida, accused Vince McMahon of misconduct, including groping and trying to kiss the employee and showing Lou D photos of himself. The case was dropped due to a lack of evidence, and the incident eventually faded from public memory. Bret Hart's Sunny Days. Bret Hart's Sunny Days refers to a promo by Shawn Michaels leading up to their match at King of the Ring 1997, which never happened due to Bret Hart's knee surgery. Michaels made a comment about Bret Hart having sunny days, implying an affair with WWE diva Sunny. Bret Hart's response to this has been ambiguous, and he has mentioned he wished he had had an affair with Sunny, who was widely regarded as attractive. Pillman's Got a Gun. Pillman's Got a Gun refers to a controversial Raw segment in 1996 during the feud between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. Pillman, interviewed at home after being injured by Austin, revealed he had a gun and threatened Austin. The segment ended with Pillman pointing the gun at Austin before the camera cut to black. This moment is iconic and considered the unofficial start of the Attitude Era. Chris Candido cuckold. The Chris Candido cuckold theory suggests that Sunny had an affair with Shawn Michaels, while her then-boyfriend Chris Candido did nothing about it. Given Sunny's status, this theory remains controversial. AJ Styles, Flat Earth Beliefs. It's widely believed among WWE roster members that AJ Styles thinks the Earth is flat. Randy Orton has joked about this on Twitter, and Bryan Danielson discussed it with AJ Styles on Talking Smack. AJ Styles claims he doesn't believe in a flat Earth, but finds the topic interesting. @CrankyVince. @CrankyVince was a Twitter account from 2014 parodying Vince McMahon and leaking confidential WWE information. The account's content seemed to mimic real quotes from McMahon, leading to speculation that it was run by someone within WWE, possibly John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL. JBL has denied this, attributing the account to an imitation. Nails attacks. Vince McMahon. Nails, known for his outspoken stance against Vince McMahon during the steroid trials, reportedly assaulted McMahon in 1992 and then filed a false police report claiming McMahon had sexually assaulted him. This bizarre incident added to Nails' reputation for controversy. Roman's leukemia was fake. The conspiracy theory that Roman Reigns' leukemia diagnosis was fake suggests that WWE orchestrated it for sympathy and to boost Reigns' popularity. Critics of this theory point out that Reigns looked healthy upon his return, and there was no substantial evidence supporting this claim. Jesse Ventura's lawsuit. Jesse Ventura's lawsuit against Chris Kyle, author of American Sniper, alleged that Kyle falsely claimed to have punched Ventura at a bar in 2006. The case ended with Ventura being awarded $1.8 million in damages, although the jury was later criticized for its decision. The lawsuit was settled, and Kyle's reputation suffered significant damage. WWE's failed ECW revival. In 2006, WWE attempted to revive ECW as a separate brand, but it failed to capture the original ECW's spirit. Fans and critics alike considered the revival a commercial failure due to its lackluster booking and focus on WWE's existing talent rather than the rebellious underground spirit of the original ECW. Brutus Beefcake's parasailing accident. In 1990, Brutus Beefcake was involved in a parasailing accident, resulting in serious injuries that required reconstructive surgery. The accident caused Beefcake's career to temporarily stall, and many speculated about the severity of his injuries. Despite this, he made a partial return to wrestling after his recovery. The Click Incident. The Click Incident refers to the backstage fallout following the Curtain Call incident. The Click, a backstage group consisting of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and others, was known for their influence and controversial behavior. The Curtain Call, where members broke kayfabe in front of the live crowd, led to backstage tension and changes in WWE's management structure. Medusa's return. Medusa's return to WCW in December 1995 was marked by a dramatic moment. Alundra Blaze, who had previously competed in WWE under the name Alundra Blaze, signed with WCW and appeared on Monday Nitro. In a bold and memorable gesture, she threw the WWE Women's Championship belt into a trash can. This act became one of the more iconic moments of the Monday Night Wars. However, Blaze, now known as Medusa in WCW, has openly stated that she regrets her actions, acknowledging that the move might not have been the best decision in hindsight. Ribera Steakhouse. Ribera Steakhouse is a unique dining experience with a wrestling, boxing, and MMA theme, located in Japan. It has 2 locations in Tokyo, and it's known as a rite of passage for wrestlers visiting Japan. Many wrestlers, including John Cena, have been gifted complimentary satin jackets from the venue as a sign of respect and admiration. The steakhouse is well regarded within the wrestling community and holds a special place for those who visit. December to Dismember, December 2006. December to Dismember was an ECW exclusive pay-per-view event produced by WWE in late 2006. The event is infamous for being potentially the worst wrestling pay-per-view of all time. The event showed zero effort in creating a meaningful experience, and the main event featured Lashley winning the ECW title, a move that ECW fans were not pleased with. The fallout from the event was significant, with Paul Heyman taking the blame for the disastrous show, leading to his eventual departure from WWE. Bash at the Beach 2000. At Bash at the Beach 2000, the major match was between Hulk Hogan and Jeff Jarrett for the WCW World title. Backstage issues between Hogan and Vince Russo led to Russo deciding that Jarrett would lay down for Hogan, allowing him to win the match. This was a planned outcome to set up a storyline revealing Hogan's backstage power. Russo's shoot promo, where he berated Hogan, was not scripted, and Hogan was unaware of it beforehand. This event led to Hogan's departure from WCW and a subsequent defamation lawsuit. Hulk Hogan's "We're Coming For You." The phrase "We're Coming For You" is linked to a promo by Booker T during WCW's Spring Stampede pay-per-view in 1997. In the promo, Booker T declared, "Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you," and then used a racial slur. Booker T has since expressed deep regret about this incident, which was aired live on pay-per-view. Jim Herd's controversy. Jim Herd was hired as the executive vice president of WCW in 1988, but faced extensive criticism. Many believed he lacked knowledge about professional wrestling, which baffled veterans like Ric Flair. Herd's appointment was seen as a perplexing choice, and his tenure was marked by controversy and dissatisfaction among the wrestling community. Burning Hammer. The Burning Hammer is a wrestling move executed from an Argentine backbreaker rack position. The wrestler delivering the move falls sideways, driving the opponent's head into the mat. The move is considered highly dangerous, and WWE has imposed a strict ban on it, only allowing it under certain circumstances. Victory Road 2011. Victory Road 2011, a TNA pay-per-view, is primarily known for its disastrous main event between Jeff Hardy and Sting. Hardy's entrance was delayed, and when he finally appeared, he was visibly under the influence. This led Eric Bischoff to call an audible, resulting in Sting winning the match quickly with a Scorpion Death Drop. The match is regarded as one of the worst in pro wrestling history. Asia Mist. Asia Mist involves the act of spitting colored liquid into an opponent's face. This spot is commonly used in Japanese wrestling, but has also appeared in WWE, performed by wrestlers like Tajiri and Asuka. The mist is typically stored in a capsule carried by either the referee or the wrestler until it is time for the spot. August 1st Warning. The August 1st Warning was a TNA storyline promoting a mystery man set to debut on August 1st, 2013. The reveal was that MMA legend Tito Ortiz was the mystery man, which was met with a lackluster reaction from the TNA audience. The anticlimactic reveal highlighted the disconnect between the promotion and its fans. Strong Style versus King's Road. Strong Style and King's Road are two prominent wrestling styles in Japan. Strong Style is characterized by stiff, hard-hitting wrestling that aims to look as legitimate as possible. In contrast, King's Road emphasizes slower-paced, psychologically driven brawling. These styles represent different approaches to professional wrestling in Japan. WWF Hotel and Casino. Towards the end of the Attitude Era, WWE proposed opening their own hotel and casino in Las Vegas. Although WWE purchased a property with plans for transformation, the proposal never progressed beyond the planning stage. The project was ultimately abandoned when the proposal failed to materialize. Jake Roberts' Demons. Jake the Snake. Roberts is well known for his battles with alcoholism and substance abuse, which severely impacted his life for several years. Despite these struggles, Roberts has managed to overcome his demons and has been clean for some time. He occasionally appears on AEW TV, reflecting on his journey and recovery. Heroes of Wrestling. October 10th, 1999. Heroes of Wrestling was a notorious pay-per-view event held at Casino Magic Hotel in St. Louis, Mississippi. The show featured stars from the 80s and 90s and was headlined by Jim Neidhart and King Kong Bundy versus Jake Roberts and Yokozuna. The event was marred by controversy, including Jake Roberts' relapse before the show. Roberts' inappropriate behavior during his pre-match promo and the match itself led to the event being heavily criticized, and any plans for a follow-up event were cancelled. Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman was an entertainer who made a notable impact in the wrestling world through his feud with Jerry the King Lawler. This feud is considered one of the most famous wrestler versus celebrity feuds of all time, and significantly benefited both Kaufman's and Lawler's careers, as well as the wrestling scene in Memphis. CM Punk's piledriver on John Cena. For a long time, the piledriver was banned in WWE. However, during a Raw match between CM Punk and John Cena in 2013, Punk performed the move on Cena, shocking fans worldwide. Reports indicate that Vince McMahon was furious about Punk's decision to use the banned maneuver. Raven and WrestleMania 17 incident. Raven was involved in a significant mishap during WrestleMania 17. He was driving a golf cart during a hardcore match featuring Kane, The Big Show, and himself. Unfortunately, Raven crashed the golf cart into a fence wall backstage. This wall was critical as it powered the entire stadium where WrestleMania was taking place. According to Raven, he was only a few inches away from potentially cutting the power to the whole building, which could have ruined the event. The steroid scandal is one of the most significant controversies in WWE history. Vince McMahon faced accusations of supplying illegal steroids to his talent. The case raised serious concerns that McMahon might be jailed. Ultimately, the jury acquitted McMahon, allowing him to continue his duties as the head of the company. The Fabulous Moolah controversy. The Fabulous Moolah was one of the most iconic female wrestlers, but she was surrounded by controversy. Allegations suggest she exploited the women she trained both financially and Mad Maxine, trained by Moolah, discussed her actions on the Two-Man Power Trip podcast in 2021. Maxine criticized Moolah for allegedly p***ing out the female wrestlers she trained. WWE initially planned to honor Moolah with a women's battle royal at WrestleMania 34. However, due to fan backlash and pressure from sponsors like Snickers, WWE removed Moolah's association with the Battle Royal. One Night in China. One Night in China is an adult film featuring Chyna and Sean Waltman. Waltman admitted to being under the influence of drugs throughout much of the shoot. New Jack's hostility. New Jack, a staple in ECW, was known for his hostility and willingness to take dangerous bumps. He was involved in notable incidents such as the mass transit incident and an altercation with Gypsy Joe, where he attacked Joe with a baseball bat due to Joe's lack of selling. Ion Croitoru's legal troubles. Ion Croitoru, a Canadian wrestler, is known for his extensive legal issues. He was a member of the Satan's Choice biker gang and was convicted of assault, cocaine trafficking, and bombing a police station. He was arrested for murder, but the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. In 2009, he was arrested for conspiring to murder the Bacon brothers and later charged with first-degree murder for killing Jonathan Barber. Ring boy scandal. In the 1990s, Terry Garvin was accused of sexually harassing an underage ring boy. The boy was fired after refusing Garvin's advances. The case led to a settlement with WWE and departures of several individuals linked to the case, including Patterson and Mel Phillips. Barry Orton also claimed Garvin had a history of harming wrestlers' careers when they rejected his advances. Global Force Wrestling's master tapes. In 2019, Jeff Jarrett sued Impact Wrestling and its parent company, Anthem, for deleting the master tapes of Global Force Wrestling's Amped series, which Jarrett had produced. He valued each of the 16 hours of footage at $300,000 per episode, making the alleged loss nearly $5 million. The trial ended in a mistrial, and Jarrett and Impact eventually reached a settlement in early 2021. Dino Bravo's organized crime. After leaving pro wrestling, Dino Bravo reportedly entered organized crime, allegedly working for the notorious Cotroni crime family. He was shot and killed in his home in March 1993. Gaia Girls Documentary 2000. The documentary, released in 2000, caused controversy by depicting the brutal and sinister training methods used for top female wrestlers in Japan. The film highlighted the mistreatment of young girls, providing a poor PR image for Japanese pro wrestling. Mitsuharu Misawa's death. Mitsuharu Misawa's tragic death occurred during a 2009 tag team match between his team and Saito and Bison Smith. Misawa was motionless after a back suplex, and despite CPR efforts, he passed away. Reports indicated that Misawa had been working hurt for an extended period, and the injury from the suplex severed his spinal column. Hayabusa's injury. Hayabusa suffered a career-ending injury during a match with Suzaki. Attempting a springboard moonsault, Hayabusa lost his footing and landed on his neck, fracturing 2 vertebrae and leaving him paralyzed. This injury was a significant setback for pro wrestling in Japan. Herb Abrams' downfall. Herb Abrams founded the Universal Wrestling Federation in 1980, despite having no experience in the wrestling industry. He gained a reputation for failing to pay those he worked with, and his shows were poorly received. Abrams developed paranoia and died from a heart attack in police custody in 1996. The original Screwjob. Before the Montreal Screwjob, an incident occurred between the Fabulous Moolah and Wendy Richter. Richter was scheduled to defend the women's title against a mysterious figure known as the Spider. The match went off script, leading to a quick pinfall by the Spider, who was revealed to be Moolah in disguise. It is believed this was a plan by Vince McMahon after Richter refused to sign a new contract. Richter left the arena and never spoke to Mueller again. Tommy Dreamer's dark plan. In April 2001, Tommy Dreamer was in a dark place and planned to take his anger out on Paul Heyman. Dreamer intended to jump the barricade at WrestleMania 17, shoot Heyman, and then end his own life. Thankfully, he did not follow through with these plans and is now in a better place. Cinderblock Incident. In 2018, during the Lucha TV event, wrestler Dominio threw a real concrete block at his opponent, Servo. The impact caused serious injuries, requiring brain surgery to remove a blood clot. Gino Hernandez's death. Gino Hernandez passed away in 1986, initially appearing to be a homicide. However, it was later declared an overdose, leading to skepticism from friends and family. Legendary wrestler Michael Hayes expressed doubts about the official cause of death. Great Antonio versus Antonio Inoki. The Great Antonio, known for his strength, faced Antonio Inoki in a match where Inoki began no-selling Antonio's offense. Inoki retaliated with legitimate strikes, leaving Antonio severely injured. The death of Abismo Negro. Abismo Negro's death led to various conspiracy theories. After a bus ride to Mexico City in March 2009, Abismo demanded to be left off the bus at 1:30 a.m. He texted his wife about being lost, and his body was later found floating down a river. The official cause of death was an anxiety attack, potentially triggered by steroids. Some fans and historians suspect foul play, with theories suggesting someone used Abismo's phone to text his wife before abandoning his body. Kane the Undertaker's original name. When The Undertaker originally signed with WWE, he was set to be called Kane the Undertaker. He even appeared in a match on Wrestling Challenge with this moniker. However, the name was eventually shortened to The Undertaker. The name Kane would later be used in 1997 with the arrival of The Undertaker's sinister half-brother, Ox Baker's Heart Punch. Ox Baker was known for his finisher, the Heart Punch, a strike to the chest area. Despite its seemingly benign nature, it was involved in the deaths of two wrestlers. In 1971, Baker's Heart Punch resulted in the death of Alberta Terrence, who suffered a ruptured pancreas. 5 years later, Baker's Heart Punch was linked to the death of Ray Gunkel, who had an undiagnosed arteriosclerosis. The punch led to severe heart trauma and contributed to Gunkel's death. Chris Benoit's Wikipedia page edits. Before the Chris Benoit incident became public knowledge, there were disturbing Wikipedia edits that surfaced 14 hours before the police entered the Benoit home. The edit suggested Benoit was replaced due to personal issues stemming from the death of his wife, Nancy. The IP address of the edit was traced to Connecticut, where WWE's headquarters are located. While the editor apologized and claimed it was a coincidence, conspiracy theories suggest prior knowledge of the incident. Kevin Sullivan's divorce storyline. In the 1990s, Kevin Sullivan booked a storyline in WCW where his wife, Nancy, known as Woman, left him for Chris Benoit. This was a reflection of real-life events, as Nancy left Sullivan for Benoit. Despite their real-life conflict, Sullivan maintained professionalism, not allowing personal feelings to affect his in-ring behavior towards Benoit. The Lost Golden Age of Lucha Libre footage. The Golden Age of Lucha Libre, spanning the 1950s and 60s, remains largely lost due to Mexico City's ban on airing such footage. Wrestling historians lament the loss of this significant era in professional wrestling history. The Von Erich Curse. The Von Erich family is infamous for the so-called Von Erich Curse, a supposed evil curse that has led to the untimely deaths of several family members. David, Kerry, Mike, and Chris Von Erich all passed away at young ages, with Chris being only 21 years old when he ended his own life. A trainee's death at a Japanese dojo. In 1995, a trainee named Hiromitsu Gonpei died at a Japanese dojo under the supervision of Kensuke Sasaki. Gonpei was reportedly beaten and repeatedly suplexed, resulting in severe head trauma. Sasaki was not formally charged, and his career continued without interruption. Dragon Gate's Monkey Scandal. In 2009, a scandal rocked Dragon Gate when it was revealed that wrestlers had abused a monkey kept as a mascot. The monkey was reportedly burnt with a lighter and scalded with boiling water. The disturbing footage was uploaded online, and the monkey was eventually rehomed. Dragon Gate president Takashi Okamura took a self-imposed pay cut in response. Roddy Piper's prediction of his own death. Roddy Piper, in a 2003 interview, predicted he would die before the age of 65. Tragically, Piper passed away in 2015 at the age of 61, making his prediction eerily accurate. Grizzly Smith's abusive behavior. Grizzly Smith, the father of wrestling legend Jake the Snake Roberts, led a life marked by abuse and torment. His abusive behavior included an incident with a 12-year-old girl, leading to Roberts' conception. Smith's mistreatment of Roberts during his childhood contributed to Roberts' struggles with alcohol and drugs. The ending of Superfire Pro Wrestling Special. The Superfire Pro Wrestling Special video game features one of the darkest endings in video game history. Instead of a celebratory conclusion, the game ends with the main character taking his own life after realizing he has no one to celebrate with. Act Yasukawa vs. Yoshiko Incident. In February 2015, a match between Act Yasukawa and Yoshiko for the World of Stardom title ended in a no contest. Yoshiko began to legitimately assault Act Yasukawa, leading to the match being stopped and Act Yasukawa being rushed to the hospital due to the severity of the injuries. Miss Elizabeth's Miss Elizabeth, involved in a problematic relationship with Lex Luger, passed away in 2003 at the age of 42. The cause of death was acute toxicity due to mixing painkillers with alcohol. Some fans believe Luger may have been more involved in her death than what is officially reported. Buck Zumhoff's criminal charges. Buck Zumhoff is one of the most detestable figures in wrestling history. He was jailed twice in the 1980s for misconduct involving minors, and later charged with 12 counts of criminal misconduct, including his daughter starting from when she was just 15 years old. Zumhoff attempted to flee the courtroom during sentencing, but was tackled by officers. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. And that concludes our iceberg. Which topic did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the amazing videos that will be released. That's all for today, folks. See you soon.